appointed. Our topic for today is, why can the Weah 2 years of presidency tell you about the remaining 4 years? Again, you heard me. Yes, I'm not killing. That is our topic. Mr. Weah has been in power for 2 years now. What does the 2 years tell you about the next 4 years? That is our topic, and this is why we are asking you to share the show with your contact. It's pure politics, and we will go right into it. Stay right there, and I'll be right back with you. Again, folks, this is Focus on Liberia. Again, folks, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anson Nsie. And we continue to appeal to you to share the show with your contact. Very soon, we will be going into the topic. The topic, again, is, why can the Weah Presidency, 2 years into the presidency now, tell you about the remaining 4 years? If you have joined us, we want to say thank you for joining us. We ask that you share the show with your contact while we go into our program momentarily. Well, I'm taking the time to dance for my audience while we get ready to go into our topic. All right, folks, let's go straight into business. Today on the Hour of Politics on this network, Focus on Liberia, we have a topic for you, and our topic is, what can the Weah presidency for 2 years tell you about the next 4 years? Fellow Liberians, we want to take this opportunity at this time to officially welcome you to our program, The Hour of Politics, on this network focused on Liberia. Like I said earlier, our topic is thought-provoking, and it is, what can the George Weah 2 years into office tell you about the next 4 years? You want to listen to that? Then you have to hit that share button so that your friends can also join all of us to go into this conversation. So we're going to start like this. Folks, on January 22nd, 2018, George Weah was elected into office. When George Weah was elected, as you all know, Liberians all across the nation and even in the diaspora were hopeful of a new administration, of a new government, of a new country, of a new sense of direction. And so Liberians, even those who have disagreed with President George Weah, felt that it was about time to have given him some time so that he can bring to the table what he has in his arsenal. As you are aware, Mr. Weah and his political party, the CDC, was in opposition. Somebody might refer to it as political wilderness for 12 solid years. And throughout that time, as you are aware, Mr. Weah and his party were relentless. They were ceaseless in their effort to obtain state power. Blessing it for them, the Liberian people gave them that opportunity, the opportunity to lead them, to not only lead them anyway, but to lead them to change. Liberians need a change. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, having served for 12 years into office, at some point then, was no longer the change the Liberian people wanted. The Liberian people wanted a new flavor, a new sense of direction. Liberian people were told that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was corrupt, and the person who was trumpeting that particular trumpet was Mr. George Weah himself, along with his political party, the CDC. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration was condemned as being corrupt. The Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration was a failure. That Ellen and his lieutenants have failed the Liberian people, having had the mantle of authority for a period of 12 years. And so when Liberia was given the opportunity to choose a new set of leadership, they chose Mr. Weah and his political party, the CDC. And that was done on the 22nd of January 2018, following the election in 2017. As you are aware, when Mr. Weah mounted the podium during the inauguration, he made it clear that the struggle of the Liberian people was going to end. That was what our new president then have informed and assured the Liberian people, that the struggle of the Liberian people was going to end, or he came to power to end the struggle. And I need not to tell you what the struggle of the Liberian people has been. Yes, the Liberian people has been struggling with the issue of corruption, the culture of impunity. Liberians have not had opportunity to good roads. Liberians have not had access to safe drinking water. Medical facilities from day one, as we know, have not been up to the standard, to the satisfaction of the Liberian people. And so when Mr. Weah said that he had then come to power to end the struggle of the Liberian people, hopes went all in the road, even down to the Yana boy, those who printed t-shirts for Mr. Weah, the dance in the street. At some point, we saw Mr. Weah himself was crying. And that tear for to some people, man, Mr. Weah has finally gotten the state power that he needed to transform the lives of his people. And so it's been 12 years now since Mr. Weah has been in power. Anybody will want to assume that everything should be bread and butter now, because the CDC, Mr. Weah himself, was in the vanguard of attorney political leadership for our country so that he will be able to change the life of our people. It's been 12 years now. One would think that life will be better off as we speak compared to how life was during the presidency of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. But I tell you, your guess is as good as mine. What do you have to say to that? Are the lives of the Liberian people better now, 2 years ago, compared to what we have now? Well, this is the topic we have for you to discuss. So we will start like this. President George Weah came to power. And first thing, we realized that his administration did not have a plan. Of course, they had no plan from the get-go. So the institution and the government, when I say institution, I'm talking about CDC, they were being chastised in the public sphere. What was the policy prescription that they came to power with? They didn't have it at the time. Well, fast forward, they came up with something called the PAPD, the Proper Agenda for Prosperity and what? Development. And they told us that it is that particular document that had all the medicine that we Liberian as a country also that we needed in order for us to solve all the problems that we had over the time. And so in no time, Mr. Weah went to work and he started appointing people into his administration. Little did we know that the very people that Mr. Weah and his party had complained about will be in his government. And so, folks, if you are just joining us again, we want to say to you, welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony Sear. Fast forward, Mr. Weah started appointing people. Mr. Weah started appointing people, and Liberians were hopeful that Mr. Weah was going to bring credible people into an administration to help instead the affairs of the country. In no time, we saw the same old faces that were in the previous administration, in the administration of Mr. George Weah. And so Liberians were there scratching their head. Is this the change? So what I'm trying to say to you is that from the get-go, Mr. Weah did not initiate the change on which he was elected. Mr. Weah did not. Mr. Weah gave you Emmanuel Shaw. Do you not know Mr. Emmanuel Shaw? Mr. Emmanuel Shaw, history tells us, is the young man who at some point was with Samuel Kedo. It has been told that Mr. Emmanuel Shaw is the one who sold a plane that was belonging to the Liberian government. But we all know Mr. Emmanuel Shaw. He does not have a good reputation. He is a man many Liberian people see to have a questionable character. And so for us to have seen Mr. Emmanuel Shaw in the administration of a change agent, George Weah, was like a slap in the face of the Liberian people. But Emmanuel Shaw is not the only one, fellow Liberians. We also got from Mr. Weah, Charles Bright. Do you not know Charles Bright? Charles Bright served as finance minister, from what we know, in the Charles Taylor administration. And you know what the Charles Taylor administration did to our people. Mr. Weah, the man of change, could not find Liberian with impeccable character and reputation, people with clean record. Mr. Weah could not find them to bring them to the table to help instead the affairs of the country. He told us that he was the agent of change, but he gave us Emmanuel Shaw and he gave us Charles Bright. Fast forward, Mr. Weah also gave us somebody like Emmanuel Nuke. Emmanuel Nuke, who served as a vice presidential candidate to Mr. Boaka, VP Boaka. He was also brought into his administration. And my understanding is that Mr. Emmanuel Nuke also served in the UP administration. And so that was the first mistake. And for you to understand what I'm saying, just today, Momba Monu, the party chairman, spoke. He addressed the press. They had a press conference today. The CDC had a press conference today, and during that press conference, a statement was delivered by Momba Molu Jr., the chairman of CDC. And Momba Molu was able to acknowledge that their first mistake as a government now in power, he said their first mistake is or was that they appointed people into government who were in the previous administration. That was what Mr. Momba Molu said today, just today. And to qualify it, Mr. Momba Molu said that the CDC as a protocol institution did not have any authority, did not play any role in deciding the individuals that were appointed into government. Fellow Liberians, can you believe that? Can you believe that? And he went further by saying that the political institution that got President George Manuel Weah elected into office to effect the change that they have campaigned for the Liberian people, they had no decision whatsoever. They have no authority. They have no role in deciding who becomes Minister X, Y, and Z. That is why today we learn from the chairman of the CDC. So that should tell you that that political institution is completely in disarray. No wonder why no one can doubt now that this government is completely in chaos. Look, let me tell you something. The Liberian people are facing tough economic times. And the best thing that this government can do right now is to first, to be at peace with itself. That this government can be able to get its house in order. That the CDC, a political party that ran around here telling the Liberian people they had the medicine to the problems of the country. These people, this party, the CDC, should be able to get a house in order. What we know is CDC is in disarray. There's confusion in their camp. The fact that these people have serious and fundamental disagreement about the governance of our country, and they cannot speak with one voice, and there are cliques, there are factions in the CDC. That is what's responsible for the way our country is being led right now. Mr. Weah has a group that follow him. Mamba Molu has a group that follow him. And maybe Samuel Tuer also has a group that follow him. And so what you have is, you have a divided house that is not making a unified decision to serve the best interest of the people that they represent. So there's conflict in the house. And the Liberian people are left alone to bear the brunt of these blunders that the government continue to exhibit on the national scene. And so, fellow Liberians, again, if you have just joined us, this is Focus on Liberia on the program, the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C. Again, folks, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C. Our topic that we are discussing, the first 2 years in office of this administration. We want to know, looking at the 2 years, what can we say? What can the first 2 years tell you about the next 4 years? And you can agree with me, it's been turbulent. The first 2 years has been chaotic. You're talking about a government that cannot pay civil servants. We're talking about a government that is cluttered with news of corruption all over the place. Oh yes, we are talking about a government that came to power, and instead of doing the Liberian people's work, the people who are in charge of the governance process are now amassing wealth, acquiring property. Oh, don't hear it from my mouth. Mamba Molu said it today in the press conference. In fact, they made several recommendations. We will be going into those recommendations, and as soon as we read the recommendations, we put context around them, we will open the phone line for you to be able to make a call. And so, folks, in cyberspace, as you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C. Folks, so yes, Mr. Mamba Molu, in his press conference today, they made a series of recommendations. One of the recommendations that he made is that the government, he's calling on this government that they should conduct or carry on a reshuffle. Let me find that recommendation for you here quickly so we can read it and now put it into our own words. So recommendation number 1, Mr. Molu said in his press conference, conduct a major reshuffle at the most senior levels of government. Can you believe that? Mr. Mamba Molu is now calling for a reshuffle of this government, especially at the most senior levels of government. He said that when he says senior level of government, he's talking about people who are minister proper, like Samuel Tuer, I mean, for Christ's sake, tell me, man, if Mamba Monu is calling for reshuffle at the most senior level of government, something tells me Mr. Mamba Monu is talking about people like Samuel Tuer. Our economy is in the toilet, in the words of A.B. Darras DeLong, which is true. Yes, it is true. Our economy is in trouble. And who is the chief architect of the government economic program implementation? I will say to you that is Samuel Tuer. Samuel Tuer is a failure to the Liberian people. Samuel Tuer is not performing to the expectation of the Liberian people. He is the final minister. He is the one who is leading the charge to resuscitate the Liberian economy. It's been 2 years now, Mr. Samuel Tuer has been in charge. He is at the senior level of government. And Mamba Monu is calling for a reshuffle at the most senior levels of government. Something tell me maybe he does not have the balls enough to call the individuals by name, but his statement couldn't be clearer. The economy is the problem for this administration, and the man leading the charge is Samuel Tuer. And so Mamba Monu, in short, is saying, man, Samuel Tuer need to be removed from the position he occupies because he is not performing up to expectation. And it's not the fact that Samuel Tuer is not performing up to expectation. It is more so of the fact that the Liberian people are suffering and dying because Samuel Tuer is not doing his job ably. Yes, the man is not effective. The man has proven beyond all reasonable that he's incompetent. He does not know what he's doing. Our economy continues to decline. How do we know that our economy continues to decline? We know that because as we speak, the current growth rate as projected by the IMF and the World Bank is 0.4%. What can we do with 0.4% growth rate? Inflation rate as we speak is about 28%. Very recently, last Thursday to be specific, the head of the Liberian Revenue Authority, Thomas Donat, was at the Minka press briefing, and he disclosed to us that between the period of July to November, this 2019, the Liberian Revenue Authority, the institution that collects government taxes or revenue, he said they have a projection shortfall of $60 million. $60 million projection shortfall. In other words, they fell short of collecting the amount that was projected in the tune of $60 million. So $60 million that the government should have raised to pay civil servants, to carry on other projects, they were not able to raise that money because the economy is performing so badly and terribly. And so, fellow Liberians, we want to agree with Mr. Mamba Monu. There is a need for reshuffle, and not giving Mamba Monu the credit. Many advocates, many Liberians, even opposition leaders have been calling for a reshuffle in the government. And to bring the president in here, the president assured Liberians that he has a team. You know, he gave an analogy about the government being like a football team, that when someone is on the pitch and he's not performing, he has a substitute bench. If you are not up to the task on the pitch, he will bring you in. He will bring somebody in, sorry, and then the person who is not performing on the pitch will be substituted. It's been 2 years now. The economy continues to decline and decline and decline. Yet, Mr. Weah sits there and he does not take actions. Mr. Weah has refused to take action. His inactions have left the Liberian people wondering where their lives are going. And so, folks, in cyberspace, as you are just joining us, again, this is our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony here on this network focused on Liberia. So let's go to another recommendation that was made by the ruling party. Recommendation number 2 said, remove honor achievers and honor manners functioning in senior level position, especially those who appoint cronies to critical position at line ministries and agency. Look, let's be clear. When the government came to power, the government inherited a wage bill in the tune of $297 million. When we say wage bill, we mean that the money that the government spent on salaries and the operation of the government. Basically, that's what we are talking about. The government inherited that bill. In other words, the total amount of money that government was spending on salaries and other things was about $297 million. But the government decided to bring in its own people. Nothing wrong with bringing in people, but who are the people that you are bringing in? Are they qualified for the position? Are these people bringing quality, all right, to the table to help the government to be effective? That did not happen. What we saw was the CDC ballooned the payroll, they blotted the payroll. They were just sending lays from one ministry to other. So it's laughable that the very Mama Molu, who is the one who has been sending these names to all the ministries and agencies, will now be coming by and telling us that some people in senior level or government positions have been appointing their cronies into line agencies and then line agencies and ministry. That Mr. Mumba Monu will say that. But hey, that is also true. But he is not the right person to say that because he himself contributed to this problem. Oh, now Mr. Monu has realized that they have done so much damage just with the payroll alone. Are you wondering why Liberians continue to protest? Are you wondering why Liberians continue to get in the streets in demands of salaries arrears? As we speak, the first branch of government, oh, fellow Liberians, please share this show. The Liberian people are left alone. The first branch of government, the direct representatives of the people, they have not taken pay for 4 months. Yes, your lawmakers, your senators, they have not taken pay, fellow Liberians, for 4 solid months, and they don't have the guts to stand up. How? You represent the people in a government, and your responsibility and your role is to provide the necessary checks and balances. And one of the government primary responsibility is to pay people that it has employed. And the government has gone 4 to 5 months without paying some people in the government, and your lawmakers are silent, including them very self. They have not taken pay, and they have not even called the finance minister to give reason why he should not be held in contempt on a failure to make civil servant salary current. Do you think you have lawmakers? And so this is the reason why some people agree with the COP who are now advocating that this government steps down. If your lawmakers had the balls enough, or if they knew their responsibility as elected official of the people, I repeat, as elected official representing the best interests of the people, they should be able to hold the government accountable only on the failure of salary arrears. Yes, the government has not been able to pay people. The other time we got a press, not a press statement, but a memo from the National Horses Authority, Celia Coffey Brown, who happened to be the head of that agency of government. In that memo, she disclosed that by the time the memo came out, it was about 10 months that that agency of government had not been able to pay 8 employees. In other words, employees at that agency were being owed 10 months. And in fact, to make matters worse, some of them were not even on the payroll. Fellow Liberians, our topic is, Weah has been in power now for 2 years. Look at the chaos. Look at the economy. Look at the suffering. Hospitals are failing. Schools. Many people, children are not in school because they have not taken pay to get money to pay their school fee. Look at what is going on into the country. What does that tell you about the next 4 years? We have a government that came to power that were given rice by the Chinese, rebag the rice, turn it into what they call proper rice. And guess what? The government sold the rice to the people. The rice were given to the Liberian people. as aid. Free rides were given to your government, intended to help the government to help the people. Your government repackaged that rice, rebag it, and put propo on it. Or have you forgotten that the Inspector General of Commerce at the Ministry of Commerce, she was seen in the streets selling the rice for 10 United States dollars? How many of you saw that rice? Some of us heard about it. Some people never saw it. And yet, your representatives are there. They are owed 4 months of arrear. Liberians at different agencies, the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, that agency, the government owes it 5 months in salary arrears. Government also owes that particular agency 7 months for transportation allowance. Government has not been able to pay. The people demonstrated. They took matters into their own hands. It is their right to do so. The Constitution guarantees that. The people have the right to assemble. Yes, of course, when they are safety, oh, do you think you are safe if you rely on your salary to provide food for your people and you are not being paid for 5 months? Does that guarantee a safety? No, you are at risk. There's something called food security. If you cannot eat, you are not secure or you are not safe. Your life is at risk. Your immune system will deteriorate. Oh, yes. And so those people have all right to advocate for themselves because they do not have senators and representatives who will speak for them. In a decent democracy, in a responsible democracy, a government like this, representative of the people will initiate impeachment proceeding. Oh, yes. Because there have been many impeachable offenses that this administration has committed. You want me to name you one? Oh, have you forgotten when Mr. Weah came to power? It was barely less than 3 months into office when Mr. Weah told you and myself on camera that his friend gave him a private jet to boost his morale. Have you forgotten? Yes, your president said that. But let me tell you why Mr. Weah is wrong. Let me tell you what law Mr. Weah violated. There is a law in our country they call the Code of Ethics law. The Code of Ethics law, in that particular law, it said that no official of government shall take a gift value more than $200. An attempt to do constitute what we call bribery. So President Weah, what he did was receiving a bribe. Mr. Weah received a bribe. He admitted that his friend has given him the private jet to boost his morale. And that was a gift. No, Mr. Weah, the fact that that was valued more than 200 Liberian dollars or United States dollars, because the law did not say, but I will assume Liberian dollars because we have Liberian dollars or we have Liberian money. Our money is not United States dollars. So that's what Mr. Weah did. He took a plane, valued millions of dollars from a friend. When our Code of Ethics law said no official or government should take a gift from any individual value more than $200. Mr. Weah did that. That constituted bribery. Mr. Weah violated the Code of Ethics law. That alone is enough for him to be impeached. Oh yes, that is enough for Mr. Weah to be impeached. And now we have Mr. Mumba Molu, who is the chairman of the CDC, today crying wolf. These are the very recommendations many Liberians, some advocates have been making over the years. For 2 years now, people have been calling on this administration, making recommendations. And when people make recommendations, they don't take the recommendations. And the recommendations that many people have made, the recommendations are intended or were intended for the government to do well for the people. We are reminded of some recommendations that were made by the collaborating political parties. I remember that statement was read by Alexander Cummings, who is a member of the collaborating political parties. When those recommendations were read by Cummings at the press conference that was held by the CPP, at the time we have a young man called Sam Manning, who was the presidential secretary to President George Manneh Weah. What was the official response of the government? That Cummings should go back to selling Coca-Cola. Fellow Liberians, our country is in trouble. our country is in trouble. So going back to the recommendation from Mamba Molu, let's read one more. He said, commission a comprehensive audit of the past administration and our administration to date, so as to establish the facts surrounding the country's resources. Many people have called for this so many times. Mr. Weah should have conducted an audit of the past administration. Mr. Weah has failed to do so, thereby letting the Liberian people down. Let me tell you, one of the reasons Liberian people have put their trust in Mr. Weah was the fact that they got to understand that there was serious corruption in Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's administration. So they wanted a government that would come to power and audit the administration. But Mr. Weah did not do so. He failed to do so. And so many Liberians have been making their recommendation. And Mamba Molu now is coming, adding to that, that Mr. Weah should take on that. Does Mr. Weah, does he really have what it takes to audit Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? Your guess is as good as my guess. It's been 2 years now. What is stopping the administration for doing for the people what is best for the former march of the country? They have not done so. And so, fellow Liberians, this is the administration that we have. Now, talking about corruption also, we are aware that the $25 million was siphoned by Samuel Twelve and many other people in the administration. The money was intended to map our excess liquidity. Was that project carried on in a very effective manner? Liberians are still demanding answers. We were told that they went to Nicrotown and Claratown. Liberians are still demanding answers. The exchange rate continues to remain high on the market. The recommendation that was made by his advisors, the president did not act on the recommendation. The president did not act on this recommendation. All right. So we are telling you the president needs to act. The $25 million, we need to get to the bottom of that. We need to get to the bottom of the $25 million because they have set a very dangerous precedent. We are also aware of the donor money. Can you remember or have you forgotten that this government, the George Weah government, went into the donor accounts, 9 diplomatic heavyweights, 9 embassies, sent a joint letter to our government, demanding our government to replenish money. The government went into the donor account and took money without the consent of donors. And as a result, the donor is asking that the government should put back its money. Whether or not the government has done so is somebody else's guess. Now, another thing we want to remind you of is that of recent, there is something called the MCC, is the Millennium Challenge Compact. It was established by the US government to help countries, especially poor countries that are in need. So their compact has been helping Liberia. There are requirements, there are benchmarks that you need to meet in order to be qualified for some of the funds that the institution has set aside for countries like ours, Liberia. But as we speak, the current story that just came out is that Liberia has forfeited $15 million. Here's why. There is something called the Road Fund. The Road Fund was established by an act of national legislation. Brilliant idea. They levy about 30 cents on each gallon of gasoline that is being sold in the Republic of Liberia. That money is supposed to be put into a specific or special account called the Road Fund account. And that money is intended for the maintenance of all roads in the country. So the Millennium Challenge Compact has decided that they will be able to match whatever amount the Liberian government generates and places into that account. They will be able to match it. So that means if Liberian government raises like $20 million, the Millennium Compact will also be able to contribute $20 million so that the money can be used for the maintenance of roads in Liberia. Sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken, the Americans wrote the final ministry. They wrote Mr. Samuel Tuah, alerting in that the money or the revenue that's being collected from the sale of gasoline intended to be put into the road fund account. They are monitoring the account and they are not seeing the deposit being made. As a matter of fact, it is the Liberia Revenue Authority that collects the money. And when they collect the money, they're supposed to transfer the money into the road fund account. But as we speak, that has not been done. And because the American realized that that was not being done, they alerted the government, hoping that the government will yield. But our government did not do so. Guess what happened? That money was taken and used for purpose not intended. Mind you, that is another violation of our laws. When an institution or when an agency or when a program is established by an act of national legislature, it becomes a law. So the road fund account, for you to take money and use it for any other purpose intended, that constitutes a violation. So instead of the American giving the Liberian government the $15 million it has set aside, because within the period, the Liberian government should have raised $50 million. But the $50 million, maybe all of it was not, they didn't raise all the money, but the money, the core problem here is that the money was not placed into the the road fund account. And so because the Liberian government has failed to deposit the money it generated from the sale of gasoline in the country, the Americans are saying, but then we can't give our share of the money. So Liberia has forfeited $50 million. Now, the $50 million that's supposed to come from the Liberian government, it can be seen. What happened to it? That question is left with the Liberian government to answer. And so, folks, our topic is, it's been 2 years now since this government has been in the office. What does the 2 years tell you about the next 4 years? What can the 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? Liberians are living in mystery, fellow Liberians. Liberians are living in mystery. And so looking forward, it's going to be tough. Oh, if the first 2 years are this tough and there are no economic indication to show that things are going to get better, there are no plans into place, do you not know that the only thing the government is telling you now is that, the IMF is telling them to harmonize, and they're trying to what? Cut people's salary? Is that going to help if you are not raising the necessary revenue to fund the government and to carry on projects when you have a budget shortfall of $250 million, when you have, fellow Liberians, when you have when you have an exchange rate that is that high, when you have a deficit of this magnitude, when you have your projected growth rate at 0.4%, and there are no economic indication whatsoever that will revise the economy, when your agricultural sector is dead, there's no investment being made, and we also want to report to you here that the World Bank is also holding on to $48 million that's supposed to be given to the government for agriculture. The World Bank is withholding that money because the government is not performing up to expectation. The government hires somebody who is not qualified to be director of the agriculture project that the World Bank funds at the Ministry of Agriculture. So the World Bank wrote the Liberian government that they need to look into that seriously. And because of that behavior on the part of our government, the World Bank is withholding $48 million. Now, that's money that should be used to help revive the economy. But our government is yet to receive that money. Whether our government will get the money, that's another person's guess. And I know what the guess is. This government has not been up to the task. This is the change. Is this the change the Liberian people voted for? This is not the change the Liberian people voted for. And so Mamba Molu feeding the heat is not coming up with a recommendation. One of the recommendations that Mamba Molu made also is that only most senior government official should be able to fly economy class. Can you imagine that? He said most senior. He measured the president, the vice president, the pro tem, the speaker, the deputy speaker, the chief justice. He said, these are the people who should be able to fly economic class. Do you think who Mama Manu is talking about? He's talking about the president. The president has been flying private jets, but he does not have the boss enough to call the president by name. That Mr. President, you've been flying private jet in this economy is unacceptable. It's a slap in the face of the Liberian people. He does not have the balls to say so. And so, fellow Liberians, will be providing a phone line very soon for you to make your contribution. This administration has been in power now for 2 years. What can that 2 years tell you about the next 4 years? Can the 2 years tell you that it's going to be better? The 2 years. Can we say, looking at the 2 years that Mr. Weah has been in power, is going to be better for the next 4 years? Somebody might say it's going to be complete misery. Liberians are miserable economically. The government is incapacitated. The government is a failure from all indication. From all indications, the government is failing. They can't pay salaries. They can't meet benchmarks set up by international institutions who have been partnering with Liberia and helping our people. Instead, they steal money from their accounts without the people's knowledge. Do you mean what it means for 9 diplomatic heavyweights to write your government and talking to your government at a late child that the money that you have taken from our accounts, you should replace the money right now? And Samuel 12 said there and called it borrow initiative. And then we have the information minister, Len Eugene Nambe, telling us that it has been done before. If this is the best he can do, what was done before that was wrong can be done now. So because it was done before, it can be done. Is this a change that the Liberian people voted for? And he is telling us it's called D-hole, cover hole. Fellow Liberians, we can't D-hole to cover hole. D-hole, cover hole is not a solution to any problem. We will be opening the full line. Folks in cyberspace, as you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anson Nsie. It's all pure politics today, and we are providing clear-cut analysis based on facts. Based on facts. It is a fact that the government is incompetent. Economically speaking, the government is not delivering up to expectation. We have a huge budget shortfall. And so, fellow Liberians, the number to call to participate is 651-788-7960. I repeat, 651-788-7960. 788-6960. 651-788-7960. I repeat, 651-788-7960. That is the number to call to participate. And so, fellow Liberians, the opportunity is here right now to give us a call right here on this network, Focus on Liberia. Give us a call and participate on the program. The number again is 651-788-7960. Call that number and have your say. Looking at the 2 years of this administration, do you think the next 4 years is going to be better? Give us a call. Give us a call. Fellow Liberians, give us a call. The number to call is 651-788-7960. Give us a call and participate. I'm right here for you. I'm your humble host here, Anson Nsie, on this program, The Hour of Politics, on this network, Focus on Liberia. We are discussing, looking at the 2 years that the administration has been into office or into power. Do you think the next 4 years going to be better? Or what can we say about the next 4 years looking at the first 2 years of this administration? You can have your say now. If you want me to put the number on the screen, I can do it now. Let me share the number with you. That number is 651-788-7960. All right, I just shared the number right there. Folks. Give us a call here. I focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Sier. We are discussing what can the first 2 years of this government tell us about the next 4 years. Is this government doing well? Give us a call. My name is Anthony Sier, the host here at Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics. The number is right there. You can call, give us a call. So folks, in cyberspace, there's a Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Sier. We are discussing the CDC administration being in office now for 2 years. What can the 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? We have a government that has been cluttered with news of corruption. We have a caller on the line. Caller, your name and where you are joining us from. I am doing well. Uncle P, the man from all the county. Go right ahead. Our audience listening to you.
But those recommendations are always they have been made. But each time those recommendations were made, sometimes they call the people enemies of the state. And they didn't adhere to those recommendations. It is terrible, it is horrible for our country. I recommended that people shooting march, the demonstration should be pulled off, and the president for the nation. But it seems that though they are not going to adhere to my recommendation for the president to address the nation, because the economy of our country is in Rome. It is devastating for our country. So I don't know how they're going to get out of this, but I can see that and sense that all Liberians can see and sense that there is a decision now within the cities from the press conference of Molo today. We all sense a division in the CDC because they made some recommendations, like I said, that have always been made by others, and they turn there as enemies of the state. So it is left with the Liberian people. We Liberian people elected the president. It is now left with the Liberian people to make up their mind and see what they do, because it seems that though the government is not serious about implementing the recommendations by the people. First of all, the biggest mistake the government made was they didn't audit the government of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, as always elaborated on. They saw it that when President Ellen Johnson took over, he audited Julie Bryant. They expect that she even put Julie Bryant in jail. But it seems that though this guy entered into a marriage with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, like I told them. Because you see, I know Ellen Johnson personally. I work with her at the Ministry of Finance. Apparently, this guy, Ellen Johnson, used a strategy on them because she was trying to protect herself. So that strategy that she used, apparently, she tried to divert from that strategy now and implement another new strategy. Now that you see that she's gone back to the Unity Party. I personally, if I was a member of Unity Party, I would have told them not to accept the membership of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to be in the Unity Party. But even if they were accept her membership, they should be cognizant of the fact that she will try to manipulate them again. So Ellen Johnson used this government, she manipulated this government, and because they failed to do what they were supposed to do, put the economy in place or to hold Ellen Johnson accountable, they are having insurmountable problems that are confronting them. I don't know. It is very hard for these problems that are confronting this government to alleviate those problems because they have done it nationally for the Liberians, and they go to do it internationally. International organizations, they imagine, like you said, the different ambassadors from various countries. Then now they're going to other investors, going to funds allocated for road projects, and the American was supposed to give it pay some money to their account. They have misappropriated all those funds. So it is very, very degrading for our country. A lot of Liberians are disappointed in this government, and that is why we continuously make recommendations to them that we improve, because we do not want instability in the country. But I think now that what they have done, I don't know how they're going to get themselves out of it.
All right, Uncle P, thank you so much for your contribution. Like Ife right there, we have so many people waiting. We appreciate your contribution. Again, folks, in cyberspace, there's a focus on Liberia on our program, the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C. We have another caller on the line. Caller, are you there? All right, we seems to lost that caller. All right, another call is coming in. Caller, hello, your name and where are you calling from? All right, can you speak a little louder? Yeah, you are okay, go ahead. So we are discussing the topic, looking at the first 2 years of the administration. What can that 2 years tell about the next 4 years? Okay.
I'm not talking about 2 years. I'm not talking about 2 years more. I'm talking about 1 year. If we step back and watch this particular government to go on for another 6 months, I can tell you, actually, we're not going to call it country no more. Because they actually really have what it's doing is wrong. And they are already sitting down, again, and somebody tries to, and they wanted to get in and ask to get some of appearance, putting their name. And it's so fast. We need to stand up. These people, they need to go. They need to go.
All right, that's the voice of the caller right there. These people need to go. He said that is his opinion. And we thank you for your contribution. Again, folks, in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C. Folks, we are discussing the topic, what can the first 2 years of this administration tell us about the next 4 years? In this administration cannot pay civil servants. That is a fact. We also know that officials of the administration, some of them, so to speak, have acquired property, as alluded to by Chairman Momba Molu. Chairman Momba Molu, the CDC strongman, is calling for an investigation into how current and past administration officials acquire the mansions that they acquire in no time. Surprisingly, we heard that from Mbamolu. So we are not making this thing up. And so, folks, looking at the first 2 years, people not taking pay, our schools are failing, hospitals are failing, the president is flying private jet. The other time, remember, Samuel Tuer spent about $12,000 just to go to China. He got a first-class ticket, yes. Front page broke that story. We also know at some point that Mr. George Weah took money from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and it was the money he used to re-roof Zinsha in Claratown. Yes, the statement came out, we saw it, it is a fact. So looking at the first 2 years of the administration, what can that 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? The number to call is right on the screen there. It's 651-788-7960. Give us a call and have your say, or forever hold your peace. Folks in cyberspace, this is Anthony here on the program, The Hour of Politics, here on this network, focus on Liberia. The number to call again is 651-788-7960. That number is right there on the screen. Please give us a call and have your say. The administration has been into office for 2 years. Why can't that 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? Are you one of those who believe that the government is using the 2 years to put all the measures into place and going forward things will be better? Do you believe that? Or do you believe that the damage that has been done in the first 2 years mean that there will be so much suffering in the next 4 years? We have a caller on the line. Caller, your name and where do you join us from? Yes, hello, go ahead. Okay. Thank you, and that's why we are here. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
The present government in Liberia is really suffering the Liberian people.
Okay.
The people have incompetence to that government. And government is not fun. Government is not football team. Let me just get anybody today.
Okay.
So we were playing football before us there where they could play one out of people on a big ball game. This thing you are talking about life. But it's talking about the people life. And to say there are a lot of mistakes the government made initially. The very time Judge Weah won, and he went to give that his inaugural speech, Judge Weah was supposed to pronounce the entire war in the Liberian people that past government needed to be audited. You understand? But
yeah.
He put there on our podium and told the Liberian people 80%. Our first mistake. And some of us read those stuff, we try to analyze and, to tell some of our people that, look, I started from government, people say, oh, my man, the man, first they gave me a speech, they don't say mistake, I say yes. Anything that is not done at all, I mean, it's not done right, it's not done at all.
That's right.
That's where we come and keep telling government 80%. Yeah? I'm sorry for the Liberian people. It means that something so good is going on. And I will tell you today, the second mistake, it was a trap on Judge Weah at $6 billion. And I can tell you for free, Judge Weah had that money. That money is what Judge Weah used to pay those billing, and the bottom one is in the container. He got it in his place. Judge Weah will need to how do you call it, bring that money out. The Liberian folks should not sit there and tell them, and the government tell them, say they're going to go print 32 billion. If they are printing 32 billion, you know the strategy behind our 32 billion, they will not print 32 billion. They will print 16 billion from the bottom, a few billions of dollars that is in a container, and they will put it together, give it to the bank governor to put into the ball. Now, the bottom money now to take it to the ball is the problem. Demonstration is coming up. It's possible that the government could step down and people go into Judge Weah compound and burn that container and see the Liberian people money, what will become of Judge Weah. All those things are worrying. You understand? Why did not give a count of 16 billion and take it for printing 32 billion? That's a charade. They will only print 16 billion and the rest of the other money that is stored for the Liberian people, they will mix it with it that will carry up maybe from 16 to 40-something billion. Which Judge Weah built in our compound as some of the money. The 25 million that the finance minister took, he said he wanted to infuse into the economy, it was not the money that he took to infuse into the economy. that's the record we get. We know how that money was stolen. Nobody should go and sit on the fence and look into the face and take out to be like we are stupid.
All right. Let me feel right there, my brother. Thank you for your contribution. We have so many. Okay, yeah, please conclude.
Someone kept it. We showed our trouble up. And all those go party around Morovia, one saying that they come with an anti-protest. And Charles Nubia, if he get in that street, you will get beaten.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so very much. All right, that was our caller there. He agreed with one of the previous caller, saying that one of the major mistakes this administration made is the failure to not have Auditor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration immediately upon taking office. And even Uncle P, who called earlier, said that when Ellen came to power, she immediately audited Judy Bryant. And when she did that, the international community trusted that she was all for real, true change, and that she was really to fight corruption. So Ellen received significant support because from the very start, she showed to the international community that she was not willing to be part of anything called corruption. So she received massive donor or support or contribution, if you like. So Mr. Weah should have learned from that, and he did not do so, even though the very Weah man himself and his party, the CDC, chastised the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, even condemned it as being corrupt. But then when he came to power, it became mute. He couldn't audit an administration that he told us was corrupt and needed to be changed. And so what do you have to say? The number is right there for you to make your contribution. And so folks, at this time, while we're waiting for one more call, we'll read some comments here. Amara say, no sound from you, Uncle P. Okay, that was Uncle P calling there. For the massacre, right? The regime was a punishment to the Liberian masses at 2017. Where is the change? We had Sherry Christ. I voted for my papa, so I got nothing to say. Okay. So those are the few comments that we get right now. Keep your comment rolling. We will read them here. We value your contribution on this show. This is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Sia, your homo host. We are discussing why can the first 2 years of this administration tell us about the remaining 4 years. What do you see as we speak in the first 2 years of the administration? What do you see? Some people see corruption. Some people see hopelessness. Some people see lawlessness. What do you see? Call us and tell us what you see. And given what you see, what does that say about the next 4 years of this administration? Folks, the number is right there on the screen. You can call that number and have your say or write your comments, and we will be more than happy to read it for you. Folks, in cyberspace, again, my name is Anthony Sia, your homo servant on this program, The Hour of Politics, and on this network, Focus on Liberia. Again, we are discussing what can we say about the next 4 years of this administration, looking at the first 2 years. And folks, this is what I see. I see a government that is confused and out of options. Momba Molu recommendation is not anything new, that there should be a reshuffle. The president needs to find his soul and muster the courage to reshuffle this government, because the current team that he has, this team is not to the task. Very recently, we heard from Reverend Reeves. Reverend Reeves released a statement in which he called for the president to fire his entire cabinet. Reverend Reeves, in his statement that was delivered at his church, said that the current team that the president has, that team is not performing. And so he had called for the president to fire the entire cabinet and bring in a new batch of cabinet officials who will be able to help him to study the affairs of the state. But something interesting that we will learn from Bamba Molo, he is saying even current government officials who have acquired properties in no time, they themselves should be audited. Folks, we have a caller on the line. We have Jacob, I believe Williams is on the line. Hey, Jacob, what's up? Your name, where you calling out from, Jay? Jesse, go right ahead, my brother. Hey, Jacob, if you have a monitor, please tune it down. Yeah, but if you're listening to something, please cut it off. Just listen to the phone. Go ahead.
And all the recommendations we've been giving, policy descriptions, all we hear from pundits and supporters of government is that, oh, all these advices coming from each position and people who oppose the government is succeeding, people strong. Those are some of the things we're hearing. As for me, my recommendation I've been giving is that how can this government generate more revenue? I understand the government is failing, but they have not failed yet. They got opportunity to turn things around. How can this government generate more revenue? I've been giving some of those advices. Even the remittance that we send back home from America, money that we send back home. Other South American countries also putting taxes on remittance that are going back home to their people from other people in the diaspora that are spending money back home, South American, Central American countries. It could be 3% or 3 to 7%. Just as we pay purchasing tax when we go purchase, when we get paid in the United States or wherever country in Europe. 3 to 7%, government will be able to generate $40 million annually, the Liberian government, from the remittance that we send back home that is in the tune of $400 million. If the Liberian government taxes 3 to 7%, the Liberian government will generate $28 to $40 million. That's revenue for government.
I have a question for you, my dear brother, on talking about remittances to Liberia. Very recently, it was reported that the Liberian government was forcing people to open bank accounts before they can receive money being sent to them by their loved ones and family from the United States. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware in that policy it's not that bad, just that it's late. It's kind of like they're trying to implement it in a chaotic time.
Okay.
But my recommendation a year ago was that the Liberian government should make sure that education ministry should give a mandate that every schools should compare their students that register to open an account so they can do their payments through their bank account. That will give the banks more control of the Liberian currency, the money that is in circulation, at least, so that when schools are about to open, parents will only go and deposit money in their children's account, and then their school fee can be paid from there. Meaning, it's bank-to-bank transaction. That will allow the bank to have more control of the circular flow of the currency. So people going to the bank to receive money from Western Union, as long as you want to access the bank services, you should at least have an account. So that's not bad that people should have an account to receive their money. Because the Liberian government is trying to make sure most of the money that is in circulation, which is 95% of the money that is outside the banking sector, should at least start. When you can get 60% of that money into the banking sector, it will help the banking services. The bank will have leverage. And you know what leverage is? That means giving loans to business people, to entrepreneurs, to begin to take action, business-wise, and it will help the domestic sector of the economy.
And so, my brother, our key question here is, you are making a very good point, but looking at all these things you're saying, things that I've said, things that other people have said, the government has been in power for 2 years now. Looking at the way it has been steering the affairs of the country, what can the first 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? That things going to be better? Okay. Okay. Okay.
How much money does the government need for agriculture to invest in agriculture? Only $50 million the government needs to invest in agriculture, and I guarantee you, if the government invests $50 million in agriculture and grow 4 roots in tuber crop that I can recommend on your show, what are those 4 roots in tuber crops? Cassava, corn, plantain, banana. Those 4 roots in tuber crop. Other people will ask, but why about rice? The Liberian people will stay in love with Pusawa. So as long as Pusawa coming into the draw, we will continue to buy it. What the government can do is to hike the price of the imported rice so that we can be able to at least see how we can be able to focus on the locally grown rice. As the only way we'll focus on our local grown rice. But in the meantime, all you can do now to get that advantage in agro-processing and agro-product is banana, plantain, corn, and cassava. China is a big market for all those food products that I'm talking about. The Liberian government will generate $68 million annually. I mean, after 2 years of investing $50 million, you will begin to generate between $38 to $68 million annually with sales of cassava, corn, banana, and plantain. In 3 counties, Lofa, Magidi, and Ball. Those are the 3 agricultural clusters that the government will have to operate.
When you say that they will generate additional money, hold on. When you say they will generate additional revenue, that I'm surmising you are talking about value addition, right? How to, get some finished product out of these commodities that you just talked about.
You can ship to China,
right.
You can ship to Korea,
right.
China is buying enough cassava for 50 pigs, and they use those pigs, the pigs produce some insulin that they produce to make high blood pressure medication. So China is the largest consumer of cassava products.
Okay.
So I'm not even talking about where we kind of like breaking and diversifying the cassava itself to get flour and other stuff.
But will you recommend value addition? Will you recommend that to this government?
For export. And at the same time, we can even begin local consumption of the corn. That will give the government additional revenue. And besides that, the government can also take 30% control of the rice market. That means they keep putting rice directly. LPFC, LVDRD is involved in Commerce Ministry. The 3 of them form a consortium where the government put $10 million for them to begin bringing rice to sell at under $5, at $5 less than the market price that the other business people are selling it. Now, what the government will be able to generate is $18 million in every quarter from rice, from the sales of rice, 30% control of rice market. The Liberian government is supposed to be able to at least use leverage to give you financial strength, meaning take control of at least certain aspects of the market, the petroleum market and the rice market. 30% control, leave the 70% with the business people. The Liberian government will generate nothing less than $160 million yearly.
Very good contribution there from our man Jacob. Jacob, my last question to you. I don't know if you heard about the $48 million that a branch of the World Bank. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Why?
The reason why we're not going to get it because the Liberian government under Weah, there are 10 guys that got degrees from India and other places, agriculture. I'm friendly with about 4 of them. I talk with them regularly. The 4 of them that I'm friendly with, I talk with them regularly because agriculture, that's my chewing gum. So I know what I'm talking about. All the recommendation that they recommend to Madam Salif government, twice that they had meeting with Madam Salif government when she was about to leave office, and they had the 3rd meeting with Weah government in February 2018. And since then, those 10 guys are now active. And you got people running agricultural ministry who lack the knowledge and understanding and expertise. So agriculture Agriculture Ministry right now, what is happening there is just workshop at Kari. Workshop, Agriculture Ministry workshop. So international partners coming, workshop.
And so all the lay money that going through that ministry, they're spending on workshop instead of doing things that will benefit the Liberian people.
Of farmland by the Agricultural Ministry own project, 10 hectares. I challenge you.
Wow.
Nothing. You will see 10 hectares of farmland that is growing palm or any other thing, nothing. All that is gardening project in the Swakopmund area, Kari project. So you can see why we can germinate, why we can cultivate and vegetate. And that's not enough. We're talking about robust mechanized farming. $9.75 million can get us all the equipment that we need. The remaining $5.25 million can be used for what? Mobilizing other resources and paying manpower. That's 2 years of work. 2 years of work. The reason why the government has to take the lead is because the government has eminent domain to be able to acquire the farmland.
My brother, I'm going to let you go to bring another caller in, but this question comes to mind because you were talking about, you just talked about equipment that we need, you're talking about agricultural tools that we need. And you try to suggest that agriculture should be a priority right now, and if we should seek any equipment, any tools, to help the government to revive the economy, it should be agricultural tools. Your president, my president, our president went to United Arab Emirates and brought ammo tanks. Do we really need ammo tanks right now when people are hungry?
That is doing so good, or he got contact. That's not bad to get ammo things.
Okay.
Or immigration and border patrol around our border. We need that. Because people living from the diaspora, from Burkina Faso, other places, Africa, coming into the Sampo National Park, area mining gold and diamond. So we need to have border patrol. So those equipment, those vehicles talking about is necessary. But the thing is, nobody behind the president going to push this agenda item that I'm just talking about. To say, oh, we need this. We need these things. We need this amount of, we need this help. This is what we need. We want to do this in 2 years.
All right, my brother. Yeah. Okay. All right. My brother, thank you so much. Excellent contribution right there from our man Jacob, who just joined us on the call. Folks in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C.A. We have a number on the screen. Look at that number. Dial it on your phone and you will make your contribution. We are discussing the topic. The Weah administration has been in power now for 2 years. What can they 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? Tell me the 2 years. What do you think? Things been okay? And so looking at how things have been for the first 2 years, can we say that the next 2 years going to be okay? I don't know. You tell me. Call and we will pick up the phone right here on the Hour of Politics on this network, Focus on Liberia. Let's read a comment here. We have a comment from Samuel Sankara K. Johnson. He said, thanks so much for the update to our people. This government on our ex-football legend is a serious embarrassment, both nationally and internationally. All right, we will leave it there. We have another comment. The caller is Agatha Silly. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name well. Caller, apply for the agricultural minister position. I'm talking about a caller who are just on the line. We have a caller on the line. We will go right there. Caller, your name and where you calling from. Oh, caller, hello. Oh boy, we seems to be having some technical problem with the caller right there. The number is on the screen right there. The number is 651-788-7960 on the screen. Give us a call here at Focus on Liberia. Another call. I'm going to take this one. Call out your name and where you're calling from. All right. Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you for joining us here at Focus on Liberia. You know our topic. Please go right into it.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
4 years from now, this government remains in power. A failed nation and the suffering now.
Wow.
4 years from now, if this government remains in power, control of the wealth and the resources of the nation, I see a suffering masses and a deplorable nation. Now, if you ask me 4 years from now, after the protest for this government step down, this is what I see a country that needs to be restored and its credibility needs to be rebuilt within the international community and with the citizens of the nation.
Are you suggesting, caller, hold on, are you suggesting that this administration has not only damaged its own reputation and image, but it has also damaged the reputation and image of Liberians around the world and the country? Is that what you're saying here? So what are some things you can point to convince our listeners of what you are saying? Okay.
The government, or we don't work for the government. Whether we voted for the government or we didn't vote for the government. And right now, I mean, today I left from a Bible shop, and while this guy was bobbing my hair, he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from West Africa, Liberia." He said, "I heard about Liberia." He said, "But this Ghanaian brother is telling me Ghana is the best. And but I want to go to Africa at least. But the Ghanaian man is telling me Ghana is the best." I'm speaking as African American man. And I said, yes. Reason why he's saying Ghana is the best, because they have a stable government, they're fighting corruption, and the country is being rebuilt, it's being restructured, and they have stability there. But I can tell you my country is the best. But I cannot tell you my country is the best now, because I have a corrupt government and a failed state. So I cannot encourage you to move to Liberia, buy help, and go and invest until we have a government that is credible, that we can rely on, and there is no corruption. But that's my point. So we as Liberians, we meet people that want to invest in the nation. We meet people that want to go and carry business in Liberia. We may be in America, but God has created a contact in a way that we can speak good of our nation, and we take it to our nation to invest, because Liberia is a rising nation when it comes down to businesses. Liberia is a rising nation. But because of corruption, because of dishonesty, and the failed leadership we have, so our country looks like nothing is going to work. So I can definitely recommend to anybody who has the billions of dollars to go to Liberia to invest, when nobody wants to invest. So until we have a government that is credible, that is accountable to the people, that is doing what is right, then we can be able to attract investors to go to Liberia. But when this man goes to Liberia to invest, nobody is going to tell you to put something under the table. Because if you put everything under the table, why is he going to invest?
Thank you so much for your excellent contribution, Caller Lalife. Right there, we have some people that I believe want to participate. Again, thank you. Join us here, always some focus on Liberia. You can also go to YouTube And find us, focus on Liberia, and subscribe. You will get all our program. Immediately after we broadcast yet, our program can be on YouTube, sometime 2-3 hours after our broadcast. We appreciate your contribution, and we hope and pray that you will continue to stick with us. Thank you for your contribution, my brother. All right, go ahead.
Correctly, LFEH, and their Liberians are lazy. And it makes me to wonder, how can a Liberian man sit and say Liberians are lazy? It is the responsibility of the government to create a that investors will come in a country to invest for our people to get jobs. But if our people don't, if the government is not creating a level playing field to attract investors, to attract businesses, to come into the country to work, if we are not giving our own like principal money to invest in business, but we're giving it to Lebanese, how can we say Liberia are lazy? And I'm totally against that, because Liberians are working in countries, Liberians are working in hospitals, in nursing homes, in law enforcement. They are doing double. Some of them work 19 hours. Then how can we say Liberia is lazy?
So you are one of those who don't believe that Liberians are lazy. Okay.
Honest government that is believing stealing from the people, so they make us so that we lazy. We are not lazy. We are hard-working people. That's who we are. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you, my brother, and may God bless you too. Again, folks, in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony C.A. We are discussing, looking at the first 2 years of this administration, what can we say about the next 4 years? Or looking at the first 2 years, can we conclude that the next 4 years will be the same, worse of the same, more of the same? The number is right there on your screen. It's 651-788-7960. Give us a call and we will take that call and give you the opportunity to participate. Again, my name is Anthony C.A. Here on Focus on Liberia, we educate, we elevate, and we promote all things Liberia. All our programs can also be seen on YouTube. Again, all our programs can be seen on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and subscribe, and whenever we upload any of our programs on YouTube, you will be notified so you can have an opportunity to learn from what we have to share with you, our audience. Again, folks, the phone line is right there. Give us a call and have your say. What can the first 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? More of the same, worse of the same, or just the same? You have your say. Folks, the number is right there. Join us and have your say. This is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony C.A., your humble host. And so, folks, while we wait for our call, let me share this with you. Our country is in trouble economically. Even our government acknowledges that every day. From the president to the Minister of Information, from any official of government. Today, Mamba Molu, the chairman of CDC, also acknowledged that our country is in trouble. But one thing that raised eyebrows that Mamba Molu said is that this government now should not blame any other person for the economic woes or hardship our people are facing. He said the CDC should hold itself responsible for the economic problems that we are facing today. And whatever you can think of Mamba Molu, I think he's right, because these are the very things many people have been saying. You cannot hold past government administration, the past administrations are accountable for the economic hardship that we are facing. Yes, they may contribute to some of the problems, but you cannot hold them entirely responsible for what we are facing today, because the administration has been in office now for 2 years. And over the 2 years period, it has made decisions. Oh yes, it is not the past administration that went into donor accounts and took money that not belonged to it. It was not the past administration that the donors wrote a letter asking them to send their money back into their accounts that were taken by the administration. It is not the past administration that has failed to contribute money that was collected for road fund into the low road fund account. It was not the past administration. It is this administration for which Liberia has forfeited $50 million for road maintenance. So this government should hold itself responsible. We have a caller right here, and we will take it. Caller, your name and where you joining us from. Mr. Ashton Jabba, the man of integrity, he called himself. Go to it, my dear brother. You listen to Mamba Molo. Mamba Molo said we shouldn't look anywhere else. We should look at the government. The government is responsible. He says also calling for the government to audit the previous government. I follow you. That's one thing you also call for. What do you have to say?
Some of us people have grown for decades. We have so much experience with trying to help our people back home. When we tell them things that you do, they look at us and stop us. Immediately after the election, I told this government in all CTC chat room, I told them, if you want to succeed, there are few things you have to do. There will be difficult time, but you can prepare yourself now. And I outlined those things they needed to do. I told them audit the early administration, first thing. Second, you will need food because the economy is going to be bad. You need enough food in the market. So start to grow food around Mosorado County, and Lofa, Bondo areas, Takata area, all those areas. Start to grow enough food, rice, cassava, plantain, those things that our people eat, and start to place food on the market in order for the economy to at least be better. People were insulting me. I told them in all city chat room, I told them, I gave you 2 years. I said, in 2 years, everything I'm telling you guys is going to happen before your eyes. I told them, people, division who are listening, who are in CDC chat room, I told them, you guys will see that what I'm telling you is true. I give you only 2 years. You guys will come back to me and say, this guy was right. 2 years, everything will collapse. That's what I told them. That's what's happening today. You got to listen to people who have experience, who know better. To grow food in our country is not difficult. Look what I'm doing in Liberia. See how my men, I trained my men for 6 years. Those guys are growing food. Right now, we're about to have the largest rice farm in Liberia. We're about to have the largest pepper farm in Liberia. In 1 year time, I, on my own, will be able to cut off the importation of pepper to Liberia. On my own, has one person. These are the things I was telling them, but they didn't want to listen. So thank you, my brother.
I have a question before you go. This administration is doing all its best according to surrogates and even the government itself. And the government is saying that all is not that bad. It's just that the past administration set them off for failure, if I can paraphrase them, and they are trying to clean the mess according to Akara grade. So why are you sounding as though all is lost?
My brother, let me say this to you. They need to man up and start doing their work. The time those guys stay on social media talking whole day, they should be staying up, staying at the job, start putting extra hours to find solutions to our problems. How can you have such a bad economy and then you see all these government officials on social media talking? You guys should sleep at the job site, find a solution. So right in my house here, if you talk to my boys back home in Liberia working on the farm, I don't sleep until 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the phone, Facebook Live with those boys, teaching them what to do. Look, you have to do it this way. This is how you build the bed. This is what you do. I will be up until 6 in the morning before I go to sleep. My wife will say, after I go to sleep small. The children already know the thing. I said, no, I want to make sure I will job, make sure everything is perfect because I believe in perfection. These guys are government officials you see on social media every day, causing us. Knowing that the country is bad, instead of them stay at the Capitol building for hours, stay at the judge site for hours, putting extra hours to fix things, they are causing us on social media. The people will soon run them out. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. That was Astron Jabba right there, making his contribution here on the Hour of Politics and focus on Liberia. So, folks, we are discussing the 2 years of this administration. What can that 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? More of the same? Worse of the same? Or maybe better? The number is on the line. The number is on the screen, sorry. Give us a call and have your say. This is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony C. And so, folks, as we're talking, Mamba Molu is sounding more like somebody who the government will call an opposition, making recommendations. So that means that all along, these guys have known that things have not been okay. Maybe they felt that some way, somehow, things will have miraculously changed and things will have just settled down by themselves. And then the Liberian people will be happy. Men have to get to work to do it. Our government was elected on the mantra of change, and change we must demand from them. But what I'm asking you here today, for you to participate in, you have a government in power for 2 years. What can we say about the 2 years? And then what can the 2 years tell us about the next 4 years? In the first 2 years, people are not taking pay. People are owed 4, 5, 6 months, depending on which ministry or agency they work. 2 years, the government revenue generation has declined significantly. Government is generating less money now than it generated last year. Will that trend continue? Somebody will say yes, somebody will say no. If you are saying no, what informs your decision or you say no? It said that we have policies that have been put into place by this government. Is the proper agenda for prosperity and development working? I repeat, is the proper agenda for prosperity and development, is it working? That is the government plan. Is it working? Is it working? If it is working, why are people not taking pay? If it is working, then why is the government going in donor accounts? I kept making this emphasis because this has damaged the reputation of the government, for which the international community doesn't want to work with them. Will you want to work with a friend who enters your house, open your safe, and took all your money? Will you want to do business with that friend? What does that say about that friend? How will you relate to that friend going forward? We have a president who should be the one setting the tone, who should be setting the standard. But this is the president who was caught on camera saying that he was giving a plea to boost his morale, forgetting to know that taking a gift valued more than $200 constitutes bribery according to our code of ethics law. And you have your lawmakers who are themselves have not taken pay and are in some way, somehow in cahoots with the president, not knowing their responsibility to represent the people. The people have not taken pay. They are mute. They are not talking. They have been asked to print new money. Are they going to print the new money? There is report now in Liberia that there is some form of new money on the market. Yes, I heard today that there is new money on the market. Focus on Liberia is investigating that particular story. We are not yet to confirm it. It is an information that is yet to be confirmed. Unconfirmed report is saying there are new banknotes in the country. Will the lawmakers come up and speak to us? Will our government inform us about the new banknotes that are in the market. We know they're talking about printing money. Have they printed the money? Is that the money they brought in the country? We know this government and money can see eye to eye. So folks, this is Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Sia. This time around, we will now be able to draw down the curtains. We have exhausted our time with you here. We want to say thank you and thank you for joining us. My name is Anthony Sia, the host here on the Hour of Politics on this network, Focus on Liberia. We have been discussing what can we say about the next 4 years of this administration, looking at what we have experienced as a country, as a people, for the first 2 years. In the first 2 years, corruption news has been all over the place. We have incompetent government officials leading to the ineffectiveness of the government to perform, to deliver for the people. That is what we have seen in the first 2 years. We have seen the exchange rate skyrocketed and also skyrocketing. We have seen the prices of basic commodity going in the roof. We have seen corrupt government officials amassing wealth and acquiring mansions in no time. This is what we have seen. All of these things that we have seen. What these things tell us about the next 4 years? Do these things tell us that the next 4 years are going to be better? What we see also is protests all over the place. Why are people protesting? Do they have legitimate reason to protest under this administration? Some people will argue they do, because some of them have not taken pay, because life has become so much unbearable, because they watch their very brothers and sisters who the sad way in a very community just yesterday, making their way into government, and in no time, they are riding the best of cars. They are owning homes. Why they continue to languish in agile poverty? That is what we have seen. All of these things, we are asking, how can we imagine the next 4 years? More of the same, worse of the same, or maybe better? That is what we have been discussing here at Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Sia. Fellow listeners, I want to say very big thank you to you for sharing almost an hour. Can get update anytime we upload any of our programs. This is Focus on Liberia. Here at Focus on Liberia, we educate, we elevate, and we promote all things Liberia. Thank you, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Anthony Sia, and this is how we will conclude our broadcast for tonight, for this afternoon, and we will be leaving with this beautiful Grable song that I love so much. And so that was do it for us here on Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Sia. Do it. It's bye for now.